Hello, everyone. This is your instructor, Dr. Yang, of your EDUC802 Teaching in Higher Education. I give you an overview for the Unit 2, which is learning theories. So the learning theories, if you consider learning theories, provides the psychological theoretical foundation for instructional design. The next 2 weeks, we're going to switch to the processes of instructional design, which we will use instructional design models. Okay. And as you can see from the course, the instructional design models, we have 2 weeks. In Unit 3, which is the next week, you will be looking at instructional design models for teaching and instruction. And then week 4, you'll be looking at instructional design models for training and development. Why is that? Because for the instructional design work, you work with different type of audiences, and you want to achieve different type of learning outcomes. So for the setting, for the learning happens, you want to apply to different instructional design models. Now, what is instructional design models? Instructional design models helps instructional designers to make sense of abstract learning theory and enable real-world application. Instructional design models organize and visualize learning theories and principles to guide instructional designers through a learning development process. Stated differently, an instructional design model can be considered a framework to develop learning materials. And many of them have common instruction design principles and patterns. Now, let's go to our course, look at what are those instruction design models. Okay, so here is your course. Instruction design models in Unit 3. So in this video, I'm going to review you both Unit 3 and Unit 4 as a one holistic package so that you know what the differences are. So, as usual, Unit 3, we give you an overview of what instruction design models such as ADDIE model, a Deacon-Carey model, a Merrill's principle for instruction, Ganet's 9 events of instruction, a Schuer model, and a SAM model, Agile model, design thinking, backward design, and so forth. If we consider the teaching and learning instruction design models are more academic, and then the training and development instruction design models are more industry applicable. It doesn't mean that those models cannot be applied to academic or vice versa. It just mainly you choose what's the best instruction design model based on who your audiences are, and what you're going to design, and what are the learning outcomes you want to achieve. But with that in mind, make sure you read those materials. Okay, so first of all, read your chapter 4 in the textbook. And in addition to that chapter, because those chapters just give you a very brief overview. So there are some great resources about various of instructional design models. And there's also a practical check-in with 4 of the most popular instructional design models. I'm sure ADDIE is one of them. And if you look at all instruction design models, they can all drill down to ADDIE, which is analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. If you drill down all the models, because essentially those are the relay steps that you really need to you really need to have to process to make a good instruction design process. And specifically more for the models used in academics, the Deacon-Carey, that's the very popular model used in academics, and Cam's model, and First Principles for Instruction by David Merrill. Okay, and there's also particular e-learning. For the e-learning, CAP model used very widely in e-learning, and got next 9 events of instruction. That's not only used in e-learning, but also in traditional learning. You can separate those 9 events of instruction. Those 9 events occurred in the instruction. So make sure you read those. That's excellent materials for you to understand instruction design models. Okay, now after you read all those, and you have 2 assignments for the week 3. So first of all is the policy matters doctoral dialogue. So you need to review the top 10 higher education state policies of 2021. Of course, this is what we have in 2021. If you came across a more updated policy issues, please share that in your post so that everyone can see. And you may also want to send me an email and tell me what are the most models, the policies what are the most recent policies that has emerged since then. Now, after review those policy issues, you need to focus on the community in which you are living. So you will write about what are demographics. So are there how many four-year institutions, community college in your community? And then after you have those basic demographic informations, you need to write, I would recommend you always write separately as a paper to address those questions. But do not use Q&A, like I said. Do not write a question and end with a few sentences of answer. That's not acceptable. Okay, now those questions you need to address in your doctoral dialogue is what higher education institutions are located in your community. Give a brief summary. And okay, and then after you see those, after you have listed those higher education institutions and comparing to the policies that you read, how might the top 10 policies impact those institutions? Okay. And you may need to cite additional scholarly articles or resources to support your argument. Why those policies and how those policies impact those institutions. Okay. Again, Dr. Dialogue by the Thursday of that week, create your initial post, and by Sunday of that week, respond to at least 2 of your classmates. And follow the discussion guidelines and how you make responding post. Instead of just saying, I agree or I disagree, explain what you agree about, why you disagree about, and based on what literature that you agree or you disagree, okay? Don't say, oh, I like your opinion. So what do you like about this opinion? And what can you apply this opinion to other situations? So talk more instead of just one sentences. That's what the dialogue is about. Now, the next assignment in the unit 3 is you're going to develop a syllabus. Okay, you're going to develop a syllabus for your project. Many of you have used the syllabus. I'm pretty sure every one of you have used a syllabus when you're in higher education. When you take undergrad courses, master level courses, or doctoral level courses. So what are the common elements in the syllabus? Okay, you need to have the course title. You need to have the instructor information. What are the course lengths? What are the major topics? What are the course material? What textbooks or articles you're going to use? What are the course learning goals? What are the course level learning outcomes? How many modules you're going to cover in that course? Okay, and what are some of the module level learning outcomes? And maybe even more, what are the assignments you plan? A lot of courses at the beginning of the term, instructor will even give you assignments throughout the entire course. And same as this course, when you come into this course, you know how many modules in this course, 3 modules, how many weeks, 8 weeks, and what's covered in each unit or each week, and what assignments are due in each week. Okay, and also make sure that you need to address any policies you need aware. For example, the late policy, the plagiarism policy, okay, and or any other or disability policy. What are the policies that you like your students to be aware? Okay, so that's the syllabus. Of course, it's a sample for you to look, but I mean, but I don't want you to just copy paste everything from the sample, because the sample simply give you an idea what a product will look like. That's unit 3, or that's week 3. Now moving on to unit 4, instruction design models for training and consulting. Another reason that I have separated those models is I know some of students working in the higher ed, some of students working in K-12, and some of our students work in the instructional design field. Or some of students working in the industry. So when you work in the industry, maybe you're more familiar with those models, or if you're not familiar with instructional design models for the training and consulting, maybe that's the time for you to get more familiar with them. Now let's take a look at what we prepared for you. Always look at learning outcomes for that week so that you know what you need to do, what you need to accomplish. So in first of all, week 5 and 6 of the chapter in your textbook are more related to the industry instructional design models. Okay, and agile. Agile has been like talking about for the last maybe 8-10 years. So what is agile? Okay, and what's a backward design? Many of you have talked about backward design. So at the beginning of the unit 3, I also covered design thinking with SAM model. So if you're interested, look at those models as well. Even though we not provide a reading and prep there, but you can surely find a lot of resources online about SAM and SAM model or design thinking model. Especially if you have an IDEO 810 in the DPS program, IDEO 810 design thinking is one of the models that we talk about in that course. So hopefully this will help with give you connections, or if you are a DPS student and if you have taken IDEO 810, you want to refer back to what you have learned in that course. If you have not taken IDEO 810, which is Innovative Learning Environment Design, which is great and fun course, you can also learn the design thinking here. And when you were in the IDEO 810, you feel a lot more familiar, and you know exactly how to apply the model in creating an innovative learning environment. Now, for those EDD students or other students in the DBA or DHA program, you are in this course, you feel free to take IDEO 810 as one of your electives too. It's a really fun course. Okay, so with unit 4, you have a one assignment due, which is that's your first academic paper you're going to really write about, which is compare and contrast the instructional design models. And you need to synthesize those models and compare and contrast them, like I stated in the purpose. When you look at the purpose, so the purpose is really your assignment level outcomes. Okay, all right. So in this paper, you can choose you can choose either 3 models in training and consulting, or you can choose 3 models for teaching and instruction, or you can mix and match. So it's completely up to you, whatever that draws your interest. Okay. So in your paper, you need to compare the researchers who developed those instructional design models, and will overview the elements and premises of each instructional design model. What are the design impacts? How this model impact instructional design, and giving specifically examples. So what are the takeaways? What are the strategies and tools that you can employ with this? You can employ in your work from those 3 models. Okay, Now, the next question is more related to your project. Now, you compare those three models. Which model would most relevant and useful that you can apply in your own project? And how are you planning to apply this instructional model or models for your project? So this is assignment that really make the connection between the theory and the practice, how you apply those theories into your practice of your project. Of course, always make sure that you properly cite those references with the in-text citations, which you used in your writing, as well as the references, which is the end of your paper. Okay, so I hope this video give you a good overview of what's coming up in Unit 3, Unit 4, and what my expectations are. And I wish you good luck in the next 2 weeks. Okay, all right. I'll see you later.